In this video, I'll guide you through everything you need to know to use Zeemo like a pro. Whether you're just getting started or looking to make the most out of its features, we'll cover it all. From setting up your account, choosing the right pricing plan, and creating accurate, engaging captions and generating AI faceless
In a
videos.
world full of distractions, one man chooses discipline over fleeting motivation. Every morning, he wakes up before dawn, ready to conquer the day ahead. While others sleep in, he runs, pushing his limits with each stride.
This is a full walkthrough, so by the end, you'll know exactly how to get the real value out of Zeemo. Alright, so first of all is that you want to go into Zeemo's website by using our link in the description. And then once you're here, is that we will now be setting up for our account. But if you don't want to, you could also scroll down and then you'd be able to see more details of Zeemo. From here, we'll be clicking on sign up to proceed into setting up our account. And from here, you can now sign up using your Google, Facebook, or your Apple account, whichever you prefer, or you could also go sign up with your email. In this case, I'll just go with my Google account for a simpler process. And now, once you're done signing up or signing in into your Zeemo account, it will be prompted in here into the Zeemo dashboard of your account. And from here, the first thing that I would want you to do is to upgrade to a paid plan, because if you don't have a paid plan, then you will only have 10 credits when you first create your account, and that will not be refillable. So if it's gone, then it will always be zero. So you would really need a paid plan in order for you to continue using Zeemo. So that 10 credits is only good for one video that is 1 minute long. So that's all you can do with a free plan. Or actually, it's not a free plan. It's just basically just a free credit in here in Zeemo. And yeah, so from here, you want to click here on upgrade now to get one of their paid plans in order for you to continue using Zeemo. So in here, we have the Pro, Expert, and Business. So first is the Pro plan at $6.67 per month. And take note that this is the yearly price. If you go for monthly, it will be $9.99 per month. So if you would want to save in the long run, I suggest going for the yearly billing. But yeah, you would have to pay big upfront. So Pro plan in here is the entry level option, but it's surprisingly solid if you're mainly creating short form content. You get enough credits for around 1,800 minutes of captions a year, which breaks down to about 150 caption videos a month if each one is a minute long. That's perfect for TikTok, Reels, Short, basically any platform where you're posting daily and just need quick, clean captions with no watermark. And it supports only one channel, so it's ideal for solo creators just getting into the groove of consistent content. The 1080p export is enough for almost any social platform. The real limitation in here is the 3 minutes max per video. So if you're making longer videos like YouTube content, this one might feel tight. So if you're just getting started and still finding your style or audience, you can start here. Focus on the short form, build your posting habit, and see if Zeemo is fitting into your process. Next is we have the Expert at $13.33 per month and $19.99 per month on the monthly billing. So this plan is for creators who are scaling up. It doubles your credit allowance, as you can see right here, and removes a major bottleneck. Now you can caption videos up to 5 hours long. That means it's finally realistic to use Zeemo for things like YouTube videos, webinars, long-form interviews, or even podcast clips. You also get 4K export, which is great if the content video quality is a big part of your channel. And the other key difference is that you can start managing up to 2 channels. So if you're posting different styles of content, like maybe one for business and one for personal, or maybe you are growing across platforms like TikTok and YouTube, this plan gives you more breathing room. This is great for people already making content regularly or those monetizing through YouTube, brand deals, or coaching. So if you've hit that professional serious phase, Expert is the sweet spot. And lastly is that you have the slider in here, which you can slide depending on the number of credits that you would like to get in this plan, and the price would also increase accordingly. So if you'd want to settle in the Expert with an increased amount of credits, you can just increase the slider in here. Same goes for business, you also have the slider. And then here in the business plan is that you can get this at a base price of $15.99 per month. That's yearly, and for monthly, it will be $23.99. And this plan has the same credit limit and core features as Expert. But again, if you do want to increase the credits right here, you can do so accordingly. So just like that. So this is only the same with the base credit limit. But it adds batch uploads and multi-device access, which is a big deal if you're working with a team or have a high output workflow. It's not about more features, it's more like efficiency, so you're not stuck with uploading things one by one. You can prep multiple videos in one go, and if you're working with VAs, editors, or social media managers, they can log in into the same account from different devices and keep things moving. So this one is for content teams, agencies, or solo creators doing client work or bulk creation. If your workflow is fast-paced and you care about saving time, this plan keeps your operation smooth. All right, now you know all about the plan here in Zeemo on which one you should get, so you should now know on which one fits you best depending on your needs. So for this video, I'm just going to go with the monthly billing and go for the Pro plan and click here on Get Pro, and I will now be proceeding into the checkout page where I need to provide my payment details, and from here we can add a promotion code so that you can get a discount. So I suggest that you do this with a yearly plan or just on a monthly plan. It could also be okay, but if you use it just like this one right here in a Pro plan, then is it's really small discount right here. So this is the coupon code that you'd want to use, enjoy 10, and then you'd get 10% off for a month, which is only $1 right here because it's only $10 in total. So I suggest going for the yearly so that you'd be able to maximize the coupon code right here, which is it's 10% off. And now, once you are done with that, you can now provide your payment details right here. And then once you're done, you want to click here on subscribe. And now, once you have successfully paid for it, you should now be able to see a welcome message right here. So now you can click here on get started. And now from here, you should now be able to see your credits gone up. And now from here, we can now start using Zeemo. So the interface here in Zeemo or dashboard is very simple. So first, you get your homepage wherein you can see the projects that you have worked with here in Zeemo, which is right here. And then you can now create a caption and AI faceless video. So these are the features or main features that you'd be able to do here in Zeemo. And then you also got your project, wherein you can see all of your projects, and exported where you can see all the videos that you have created here in Zeemo. All right, let's now proceed into creating our first video. So first, let's try on the AI faceless video. So click on it. And then from here, you can now generate your script by AI. So you only have to describe the content that you are aiming for, or you could go and use your own script. So you can paste your script in here and click on next, depending on which method you would want to use. So this one has a limit of 4,000 characters. So that is very important. So I'm just going to go for generate script by AI for this tutorial. Now I'm going to go here into writing it down. So let's say that I want to create a motivational video about discipline versus motivation, maybe something like that. So it's a very simple topic right here, and it's very popular. So I think Zeemo would be able to understand this clearly. And let's see on what it can do with just this simple one sentence prompt. So if you don't want to be more accurate or specific, you could also do so by adding more details in here, or so that Zeemo would be able to accurately make based on your specific needs or expectations on your video. So once you're done here, click here on the language, and from here you can select a language. In my case, I'll just be selecting English. And next is that you can go for the time in here. So in here, you can choose 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 3 minutes. So depending on which one you choose in here, your credit cost on creating this video would also increase accordingly. So you want to take note of that. So since Zeemo is a credit-based platform, you want to be careful on how you spend your credit because you don't want it to run out too fast. So in my case, I'll just go for 30 seconds just for an sample and click here on generate a script. And now you'll be prompted in here into the more options on how you would want to generate or create your video. So first is you have the storyboard, and it's very important that you see the duration right here of this video. So it's about 27 seconds. And from here, you can see all the scenes that was generated by AI. So you could also edit that if you'd want to. So the only problem I have here is that I wouldn't be able to add a scene, considering that we have already chosen our time or runtime earlier, if you remember. So we wouldn't be able to add that because it would mean that it would increase the time. But in here, you could actually change the text in here if you'd want to. Like for this one example, motivation is fleeting, like a spark that ignites a fire. So you could edit it per scene. Like for example, I'm gonna go for the fire instead of a fire right there. And yeah, basically you can do the same thing with the others, and there is a 200 characters limit. Next is we have the aspect ratio, wherein you could choose to be in a portrait, landscape, or square, depending on which one you'd want. So the ratio here is 9:16, 16:9, and 1:1. So for this one, I'm just going to go for this one right here, a reel, since this is just a very short video. And in here in the generate model this is also very important. So here in the basic quality, I recommend that you only select this if you don't mind the characters' faces getting switched up. It's not very consistent, and that way you'd be able to save a lot. As you can see, when you just go for the basic quality, you would only spend 5 credits. But if you go for advanced, there is a massive jump. It is now costing you 50 credits. So take note of that. That is very important. So there it is. As you can see, you can keep the style and characters consistent in here with the advanced model right here. So as for this one, I'm just going to go for basic, since I don't really have a specific character in my script that I would want to be consistent. So that's it. And next is this style. So in here, you can choose a Pixar cartoon, anime, or you could go for a realistic style. So yeah, here in Zeemo, you only get this 3 styles, which is kind of limiting in my opinion. But yeah, these are your choices. And from here, I'm just gonna go for realistic. Actually, I'm just gonna go for anime because I think that would be fitting for a motivational video. And next is the voice. Here, you could choose the voices in here. So let's just test out each one of them. So let's hear it. So first is Alloy.
Hi there, this is my voice for your Zeemo AI video.
Hi there, this is my voice for your Zeemo AI video.
Hi there, this is my voice for your Zeemo AI video.
Hi there, this is my voice for your Zeemo AI video.
Hi there, this is my voice for your Zeemo AI video.
Hi there, this is my voice for your Zeemo AI video.
All right, now that we have heard all of them, I think the most fitting one for this video would be Onyx with a deep voice, because we're talking about discipline over motivation. So it's a very masculine topic. So I would want this one right here. And now that we are done, is that we can now click here on generate video. And again, take note of the cost. That's very important. So click here on generate video once you're all satisfied with your settings. And now it's now going to generate your AI video. So all we have to do now is sit back, relax, and wait for it to finish creating our AI video. And then we should now be able to see that on our dashboard. Alright, so now once it's done generating our video, it would now show us the video itself right away. So from here, let's play it and let's see the quality that we have.
Motivation is fleeting, like a spark that ignites the fire. Discipline, however, is the steady flame that keeps it burning. When motivation fades, discipline steps in to guide you forward. It's the daily habits that build success, not just the bursts of inspiration. Embrace the grind, even when the excitement is gone. Discipline transforms dreams into reality, one small step at a time. Choose discipline today and watch your future unfold beautifully.
Alright, so that's the content that we have generated in here. And I think we could do better than that. I think I like the first video that I generated actually. I like it a lot better, which is what I used for the free credits that I got. And yeah, I'm not really that satisfied with this. I think it's just too average in my opinion. And by the way, you could also go and change the music, and I mean the background music in here if you don't want to. You can click here on music on the right side, and then you would have your choices in here that you could choose for free. So you have your different genres in here. And you could also go for the caption. You could also change the caption in here if you'd want to. So you have this one. You could also go change it into this one, which is a glowy kind of style. But as for this one, I think I'm just gonna go for a professional one right here. And let's see, I think I'm just gonna go for, yeah, I think this one is kind of enough. You could also go for dynamic effect, and you would have more choices right here. And then you could also go for basic right here, so doesn't really have that much animation. And then you could also go for image. So in here, you could choose the scenes here on your video. So basically, you can change their prompt right here. So if there's a scene here that you didn't really like, then you can change it up right here. Like for example, in here, let's see, there is something that I don't want. I'm gonna go for this one right here, and then basically you can see the cost also right here, which is only 1 credit, which is actually quite cheap, so that's enough for me. And now let's change up the prompt in here. So create an anime style wide shot of a winding path leading to a serene forest with a man walking on the path right there. So let's say we would want to add that so that there would be a character in here and it wouldn't look so empty. And that's it. Basically, you just need to understand the prompt and then add your changes as you wish, and click here on recreate scene image. And then from here, you should now be able to see it in black, and it's still generating, so we just have to wait for it. And then as you can see, our credit has now gone down with only 1 credit, so it's actually quite cheap. All right, the generation is now done. So as you can see, we now have a character or a man walking down the path here in our image. And I think it's quite good that it has retained the concept or style of the image on the previous one. So yeah, this is it. And you could also do this to the other images if you'd want to. So yeah, those are your options in here on how you could edit this video on Zeemo. And now once you're satisfied, everything is good, you can now click here on export to finally use it. And then in here, you won't have a watermark because you are in a paid plan. And here it is, it's now exporting. So all you have to do now is to just go here into download MP4 once it's done exporting. And then you also have the post generator in here. You can choose the platform. You can go for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, or Facebook. You can click here on generate. And then from here, it would now generate a post like the title in here and then the description. So yeah, you could use that if you want to, and it's also made by AI and it doesn't cost me anything. So yeah, this is it for the AI video creation on Zeemo. And now let's go here into create caption. So click here, and from here you would need to upload your media. All right, so from here we just need to click here on upload and select the file that we would want to add. So in my case, it is right here. So I'm just gonna select the file, which is right here. Yeah, click on open. And then click on next step. So this would cost you 1 credit. So here in the spoken language, you can choose the language that you'd want and the translated language if you'd want to. So let's say I'm just going to go for Japanese, just for an example right there. And subtitle display, I'm just going to go for English and Japanese and click here on next step. And let's see, we can also set the caption style. So you can add emojis if you'd want to, add GIFs and stickers right here, and then you should be able to see the preview. And you could also click on highlight content, wherein you would be able to highlight specific words. And you could also separate speaker if there are multiple speakers in your audio. So yeah, as for this one, I would just want to add emojis. So I'm just going to go to editor and click on confirm. And now it's uploading my video, so we just have to wait. So it's a very short one and it shouldn't take a while. All right, so now here's the result. So let's play it right now so that you'd be able to have an idea on what my sample here is. Hello everyone, this is my sample video or audio for the Zeemo captions. And yeah, that's it basically. So let me just mute this for a while. So it has some errors. So it's a very simple audio actually, but still it has made errors. Like for example here. So Zeemo should be actually double E, and they should have gotten right, considering that this is the name of their platform. And also for the emojis, I don't really think that it fits well. Like there is only one emoji and the placing is very weird. So I'm just gonna remove it. Like for this emoji right here. So you could see it right here in the subtitle. So you could click here on the three dots and then you could click on add element. And then you could already see the emoji. So from here, you can just click here on trash. And let's see, so this is just for that caption. So in here, we just wanted to remove from this caption. So we should select that right here, click here again, add element, and click on trash. And let's see, as you can see, it's now removed. So you would have to do that. So yeah, the emoji feature here in Zeemo is not really that good. I didn't really like it, in my opinion. And now we don't have emojis, which is better. And now is that I would want a more flashy caption in here. So I want to go here into the template, and now you'd be able to see the effects right here. Like for this one example, so I like this dynamic effect right here. And take note that if you switch it to that, it will now remove the translation right here for the Japanese. So it will now be a single line caption right here, which is only the English now. So we click here on undo and it will not bring back the Japanese translation. So you would want to take note of that. So that's it. And then we have more right here. Again, these are your choices. Same one that we have on when we were creating our AI video. And next is that we have this buttons right here at the top first. So we have the undo, redo, and then we have this style. So in here, you can select your text here on your timeline, and then you would now have the options that you can do here on your text. Like for example, when you select here under template, it would actually make the captions smaller because, yeah, as you can see right here, because it's not from the template here on the left side. But from here, you could also select the size. If you'd want to, you can make it larger as you wish. But yeah, I just don't like it right here. And then you could also select the font, the highlight color, and the stroke. So this is great if you'd want it to be customized. But in case, I am satisfied with the template right here and its style. So I'm just going to stick with that. Next, we have the setting icon in here. We can toggle on the show caption or not. And then we could also show the preview or not, depending on how you'd want to work. So you could also adjust the speed right here if you want to. And next, we have the full screen button and then the volume adjustment bar or slide. And in here is that we could also see the audio waves here in our timeline, the time duration, and the play button. And then this is where we could navigate throughout our video or our project. And then we could also hide the timeline if you'd want to. If you're working on a smaller screen, then this would be recommended. And next is that we could also rename the project file if you'd want to. So you could go for a sample tutorial caption right there, just for sake of organization. And in here, we could see our core features in here in our editor. So first is that we have the trim. So we can trim our subtitles in here. Like for example, on this one right here, you could keep only this, you could delete that, and so on. And then for the subtitle, you could also hello everyone more, or you could segment this right here. So let me just show you. For example, here in the subtitle is that I would want to press enter here. So if I would want to separate the hello everyone, I could just press enter button, and as you can see, it's now separated. And now when I go and play it in here, you can see that it's now appearing individually. So that's the use of separating it here in the subtitle. So if ever you'd want to use that, you can do it right here. So I'm just going to undo it because it's just a tutorial. And then you also have the play button in here so that you'd be able to play this part of the subtitle automatically. And then you could also hide this if you don't want that to appear. You can delete that, or you could add emojis right here. And you could also go here into the transcript. So this is where you can see the transcripted version of your selection. As you remember, we have selected the language, so you can see that right here. You could also delete if you'd want to, and then you could also edit with AI, and then you can see the subtitle settings, like the subtitle display. You can go for English and Japanese if you'd want it to appear again. But again, if you select this, then it would remove the dynamic effect for our text. So if you'd want to bring it back, then you can click here and confirm. But in my case, I don't want to, so I'm just gonna remove that. And yeah, you have more settings in here, like the punctuation and then maximum characters per line. And next we have the template. We have already discussed this. So this is where you can use the templates, and then the B-roll. So this is where you'd be able to add clips to enrich your content. Like for example, when I click in here, I could add stock footages or local, which is something that you would want to add to your video right here that you can get from your storage. So those are your options. Like for example, I want to add this one and click here on apply before adding a transition if you don't want to. So I do want a fade in transition and click on apply. And you should now be able to see it right here being reflected. So when I play this, it will now look like that. And also you would be able to click here again. And then from here, you can delete that if you don't want to. Right there. And then here is the text. So you can go for basic, headline, social media, title text, sticky notes right here. For example, here in the title text, and click on that. And then I should now be able to see it here, and I could drag it wherever I'd want, or wherever part of the video I would like it to be placed, and then I could edit it right here. Now I'm just going to remove this because I don't really need it. Click here and delete. And next is that we have the media. So this is where you'd be able to upload a GIF sticker or just GIFs. So you can click here on view more to explore, and then you could also click on search, and then you'd be able to add it directly into your project. Or again, you could upload it from your own storage. And now lastly is that you can click here on the 3 horizontal bars in the top left, wherein you could go back to workspace, or you could create the captions again. So you'd be able to select your spoken language and so on. So these are the previous settings that we did earlier. And then we could also align the captions right here. So you can upload a subtitle or drop file right here so that you'd be able to apply it into your video. And then you could also retranslate if needed. So retranslating your video will cost you extra transcription time, which means more credit cost. And then you can select the language in here. So yeah, those are all the settings here in the caption. So now you could just apply it whenever you are editing here in Zeemo, and then you should be able to use their editor efficiently. So that's it for Zeemo right here. I have now discussed everything you need to know, a full guide or walkthrough into using Zeemo like a pro. That's it, and don't forget to use the coupon code so that you'd be able to get a discount. That's it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.